Well, hey there, you're on the internet, I have some free time, and welcome to the Triple N Network, where all you newbie nib nerds can find all the news you'll need. Let's look at an ink today, shall we? Or try, because my camera's doing that thing where it makes my eyes hurt. Yeah, it's doing that thing where it really has trouble figuring out light blues. Anyways, today's ink is Private Reserve, Daphne Blue. Very light blue. All the tests were done in this Knox Aristotle with an extra fine nib. And let's check out the chromatography. Just for fun lately, I've been seeing what the difference is in chromatography if I let the ink dry, but okay, maybe I'll be able to fix this in post, but even still, in real life, you can't even tell where the initial drops were left, so letting it dry made no significant impact. I thought I'd compare a couple of inks. Here's Private Reserve Daphne Blue up at the top, Private Reserve Tropical Blue, Diamine's Mediterranean Blue, Noodler's V-Mail Midway Blue, and Sailor's Souten or Blue Sky. I have said in the past, in my reviews of Midway and Tropical Blue, that that's generally as light as I like to go. In my review of Mediterranean Blue, I said it was a little too thin and a little too light. And it was because of these reasons that I had avoided Daphne Blue until someone requested that I try it. And I'm kind of glad they did. I assumed it would be too light to comfortably read. It's not. It has such a saturation level that it's actually not too difficult to read, although it is right on the edge for me, but again, that's a personal preference. So let's check out the paper test. Top down in density, Clairefontaine 90 grams per square meter. Oh, I'm definitely going to have to fix this in post. Yeah, so as you can see, there's definitely some shading. And although it is a very light blue, it's not too light to read, especially on here, and I think the shading helps. 8 seconds to dry, which isn't too bad, but it is an extra fine, but it is pretty heavily saturated. So it's nice moderate 5 out of 10, not overly wet or dry. Didn't see any bleeding, feathering, spread, no sheen, no echo. But again, it was an extra fine, and it is very light blue, and this is very dense paper. But, yeah. As we saw in the chromatography, there is, like, no water resistance here at all. Ooh, my camera's... You can't see anything in person, but my camera's picking up some weird fluorescent thing going on. But, yeah, so... don't expect this to resist water. Here's Rhodia, 80 grams per square meter. I said it looked a little lighter on here. I think just the way it shaded, it was not as intense a shading, and so it didn't seem quite as dark, would be my guess. But yeah, 7 seconds to dry. Which, again, might seem kind of long for an extra fine, but it is pretty saturated. Still see some shading. No bleed, feather, spread, no sheen, and no real echo either. But again, extra fine and very light blue and pretty dense paper. And again, there's like nothing remaining, but my camera is turning this like into a fluorescent green thing it's picking up. That's kind of cool. Anyways, next is Tomoe River Paper, where this was sort of the first time for me that it was like really just barely balancing that edge of too light to read. As you can see, there's not a lot of shading. There's more of a halo effect that happens here. So it stays pretty light at the center, and then right at the edge it gets darker. And then, I know already I'm not going to be able to get this on camera, but there's something about this halo here in the scrubby that makes me think if this were in a broader, wetter nib, this would definitely sheen. But, yeah, that's just, I don't know, educated guess, I'd say. 9 seconds to dry. Again, it's fairly saturated, and this is very resisty paper, but, you know, for an extra fine, yeah, like I said, it's really right on the line But yeah, no bleed feather spread, really not a lot of echo, which, you know, this is a very thin paper. I mean, except for the scrubby, really. So in an extra fine, I'd say I'd do well here. Again, there's nothing to see, but my camera's picking up some weird fluorescent thing. Yeah, no water resistance whatsoever. Next is 20-pound copier paper, where things got not happy. As I said, the color is still quite bright, but there was spread, which I hope I'll be able to show. Like, if you look at how thin the line is here and how much broader it got here, and there's bleed through in an extra fine, which really does not agree with me. And not really getting it so well on camera, but there's about 100 tiny little dots. But yeah, this paper really sucks. But I would have expected a better showing than this. This is the best water test we've seen so far. It's fairly dark, it's fairly there, but it did explode, it did dye the page, it did feather like crazy. Whoa, my camera's doing the fluorescent thing. Oh, that's gonna make my eyes hurt. But yeah, Next is Mead Notebook Paper, which, just to demonstrate how bad this copy paper is, Mead Notebook Paper has been outperforming it lately, and that's just pathetic. So yeah, 3 seconds to dry. So you'll probably be able to see you still retain a little bit of shading through here. Yeah, it still bleeds and feathers a bit. Spreads a bit more than I'd like. There is some shading. I'd say keep it in an extra fine on this paper. As you can see, the bleed through is really kind of localized, which makes me think that it has to do with the pressing process. That's because I put it down in something wet and scrubbed it. But yeah, not the best water test ever, but compared to the fancier papers, that's looking pretty good. Oh god, that's hurting my eyes. I hate this camera today. Anyways, Moleskine paper, and this is a new type of Moleskine paper that I was hoping to use because the old stuff was performing so well it felt inaccurate. So I tried this stuff, but since this is also old Moleskine paper, it's performing really well. So yeah, this is like winning the lottery of Moleskine paper. 7 seconds to dry. You get shading. I said there's still bleed, feather, and spread. There is no bleed. There is none. For some reason, I thought there was bleed because I was crazy. And I thought there was spread, but there's no spread. But there is feather just right along the edge, just here. That's the only place you see it, is right along the edge of this page. So it has to do with the pressing process. But it is kind of light. Here it is, like I say, pushing my personal limit. It's pretty gone. Again, my camera's just fluorescing. In real life, there's really not much to see. So it acted like fancy paper. Yeah, I don't know. So there you go. There's Private Reserve Daphne Blue. It's a nice bright blue. This is right on the edge of my personal preference of too light to comfortably read and acceptable. And it's got a little something to it. And I feel like it would sheen really well, but I put it in this extra fine nib. Does well on decent paper. Does moderately well on sheet paper. So, for your consideration from the Triple N Network, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching. Bye.